This short video is going to talk about research in the physical sciences. How does research in the physical sciences differ from research in other areas like English and the humanities? What exactly is science research? And why is it so important? You may be familiar with research in a number of different areas. I'm sure we've all sat down to write an English paper and started looking for sources, including maybe books, magazine articles, possibly newspaper articles, and certainly web content like web pages, blogs, and maybe even eventually library resources like peer-reviewed journals and scholarly books. When you're doing research in the sciences, though, it's a lot more cut and dry. Science research will tend to come from either a book on science, possibly even your textbook, or more likely, peer-reviewed journals. What exactly is a peer-reviewed journal? When a journal article is submitted for publication by a scientist or a team of scientists, the journal editor sends it out to article reviewers before accepting it. Article reviewers are experts in the field, usually with PhDs or other advanced degrees. They're considered to be peers of the author, and they're tasked with evaluating and critiquing the article before it's published. Reviewers play a pivotal role in scholarly publishing. The peer review system exists to validate academic work, and it helps to improve the quality of published research and increase networking possibilities within the research community. Now, there are certainly some criticisms of peer review, but despite its criticism, peer review is really the only widely accepted method for research validation and has continued to be successful with relatively minor changes for almost 350 years. It's really the gold standard. These are not the magazines and journals that you're going to see on the grocery shelves or at Barnes & Noble on the magazine rack. These are expensive to subscribe to, and normally they're really only found in the offices of scientists and scholars and at academic libraries. I'm going to take a little detour and talk about research versus literature review. When we talk about research in the humanities, we're talking about going and finding sources, finding documentation, finding evidence to support our conclusions in our paper or project. In the sciences, the same process is usually called literature review. And what it is the same thing. You're going to sources, again, mainly peer-reviewed journal articles, as well as books and other scholarly sources. But you're reviewing the literature. When you do research in science, that's actually considered to be doing experiments or meta-analysis of other people's experiments. When you're actually contributing to the knowledge in the field, you're doing research. Otherwise, it's considered to be literature review. And why is this so important? Have you heard the phrase, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on ye shoulders of giants"? Do you know who said this? I'll give you a hint. It was said in 1676. I'll give you another hint. Does a picture help? Sir Isaac Newton. Probably one of the smartest human beings ever to walk the face of the earth. He gave us the laws of gravity. He invented calculus, so you can love him or hate him for that. But he understood that he was not working alone. He was not working in a vacuum. At the peak of Western civilization, at least at the peak in 1676, he could go back and find the results of scientific experiments going clear back to ancient Greece. He didn't have to start from scratch. He was building on the work of others. And this research or literature review is the process of going out and finding what has already been done in your field. What has already been done in this area that you are planning to experiment in or do research on. So to summarize, science research, which we also call literature review, we know that now, it's different than the research that you may have done in other college courses. It's not just a matter of going out and finding stuff on the web and finding stuff in books and magazines and newspapers and putting it all together to support your opinion. It's a critically important part of the scientific method. It is the shoulders on which you stand to make the next step in science. It is your ability to go back and find other experiments that have been done that may replicate what you're trying to do, or at least give you a hint about how to do what you want to do. And again, you're never starting from scratch. You can always go back to the scientists before you and learn what they did and what they found out. Finding the resources to do this can be very difficult. Peer-reviewed journals do not grow on trees. There's going to be two situations that you're going to run into when you're looking for peer-reviewed journals. If you look for them in the normal places that you might search for information, Google and whatnot, you may find out about the journal articles, but you're going to have a great deal of difficulty getting the full text of the journal articles. Conversely, if you go to the library databases to find the peer-reviewed journals, we'll have the full text of them, but the search tools that you will be using are, frankly, more difficult to use than what you're familiar with. Certainly much more difficult to use than Google. They're designed for scholars in the field and for scientists, and they do that very well. They support scholarly research, but they can be a little intimidating. The answer is, of course, that the library can help. We are here to help you find what you're looking for, to help you learn how to use the information power tools that the library provides, and to help you understand the information that you discover. Hello, my name is Trevor Smith, and I'm one of the librarians here at Mesa Community College. If you've ever sat through one of my instruction sessions, or even watched one of my admittedly amateurish videos, I consider us to be friends for life. While there are many ways that you can get help, including the Ask a Librarian chat link on this very page, I want to make you a special offer. I want you to jot down my email address, and if you ever need help finding, retrieving, or understanding research in the sciences, I want you to zip me an email and we will figure it out together. That's just what friends do. Thank you for watching.